Some of the loneliest people in the world look completely fine. They go to work. They laugh at jokes. They answer messages. They post pictures. They show up to family events. They say, "I'm good." They smile. And nobody realizes that behind that smile, something is slowly collapsing. That's the strange thing about loneliness. It doesn't always look sad. Sometimes it looks functional. Sometimes it looks successful. Sometimes it looks confident. Sometimes it looks like the friend who always checks on everybody else, but secretly wishes someone would check on them, too. Because loneliness is not always about being physically alone. Sometimes it's about feeling emotionally invisible, feeling misunderstood, feeling disconnected from people, even while surrounded by them. And in today's world, that feeling is becoming more common than people realize. There are people sitting in crowded rooms feeling completely alone. People are scrolling through endless conversations while feeling emotionally disconnected from every single one. People who haven't had a real conversation in months. People who haven't felt truly understood in years. People who are carrying pain so quietly that even the people closest to them have no idea. And maybe the saddest part is this. Many people have become so used to loneliness, they don't even talk about it anymore. They just live with it, silently. This is the human backbone. The world is full of people hiding their pain. Most people are better at hiding pain than we think. Because the world teaches people very early that vulnerability is dangerous. Don't cry. Don't be weak. Don't complain. Handle it yourself. Keep pushing. Be strong. So people learn how to perform strenuously when they are exhausted inside. They become experts at looking okay. Some people smile because they don't want to worry others. Some people joke because humor hides sadness well. Some people stay busy because silence forces them to feel things they've been avoiding. Some people help everybody else because helping others distracts them from their own pain. And after a while, they stop asking for help entirely. Not because they don't need it. Because they no longer believe anyone would understand. That kind of emotional isolation changes people. It makes them quieter, more guarded, more distant. Sometimes more angry. Sometimes more numb. And eventually, they start feeling disconnected even from themselves. There are people who haven't truly relaxed in years. People who haven't cried in years. People who haven't told the full truth about how they feel in years. Not because they're cold. Because they're scared. Scared of being judged. Scared of being misunderstood. Scared of becoming a burden. Scared that honesty will push people away. So instead, they carry everything alone. And the scary part is that the more someone hides pain successfully, the less likely people are to notice they're struggling. That's why sometimes the people who seem the strongest are actually the most overwhelmed. Why people feel emotionally disconnected humans need connection. Real connection. Not constant stimulation. Not surface-level interaction. Not endless notifications. Real connection. The kind where someone listens without rushing you. The kind where you don't feel judged for being honest. The kind where silence isn't awkward. The kind where you don't have to pretend. But modern life makes that harder. Everything moves fast now. People are tired, distracted, overworked, mentally overloaded. Conversations became shorter. Attention spans became smaller. Patience became rare. And slowly, relationships started becoming more shallow. People know each other's favorite music, but not their fears. People know what someone posts online, but not what keeps them awake at night. People know how someone looks, but not how they actually feel. And because deeper conversations became rare, many people started feeling emotionally homeless. Seen, but not known. Around people, but not connected. Talking, but not understood. That creates a dangerous emptiness, because humans can survive without many things for a while. But living too long without emotional connection changes the brain. It changes confidence. It changes self-worth. It changes hope. When people feel unseen for long enough, they start wondering if they matter at all. That's why emotional neglect hurts so deeply. Not because humans are weak, because humans are relational. We are affected by how we are treated, affected by how we are spoken to, affected by whether we feel valued. And when someone goes too long feeling emotionally disconnected, their entire view of life can slowly darken. Social media taught people to hide. Social media didn't create loneliness, but it changed the way loneliness looks. Before, people compared themselves to neighbors, coworkers, friends, small circles. Now people compare themselves to millions. Every day, every hour, every scroll. And most of what people see online is performance. Filtered happiness, edited success, curated confidence. Nobody posts the full truth. Nobody uploads the panic attack, the breakdown in the bathroom, the loneliness after the party, the anxiety before bed, the fear of failure, the insecurity, the emptiness. So people start believing everyone else is happier than they are, more successful, more loved, more attractive, more fulfilled. And that comparison slowly damages people from the inside. Because even when someone logically knows social media is curated emotionally, it still affects them. It still whispers, "You're falling behind. You're not enough. You should be doing more. You should look different. You should have more by now." And eventually, people stop living naturally. They start performing life instead of experiencing it, posting moments instead of feeling them, documenting happiness instead of living happiness, trying to appear fulfilled instead of becoming fulfilled. That performance becomes exhausting because pretending all the time creates emotional distance from yourself. And when someone becomes disconnected from themselves, they become disconnected from others, too. Men, women, A&D silent loneliness. Loneliness affects everyone. But people often experience it differently. Many men grow up being taught that emotional openness is weakness. So they suppress feelings, stay silent, distract themselves, work more, drink more, shut down emotionally. Not because they don't feel deeply, but because they were never taught how to express pain safely. Some men can talk about sports for hours, but have no idea how to say, "I'm struggling. I feel lost. I feel empty. I need help." And because of that, many men suffer quietly until the pressure explodes through anger, depression, addiction, or complete emotional withdrawal. Women often experience different pressures. The pressure to hold everything together emotionally, to care for everyone, support everyone, understand everyone, balance everything, appear emotionally stable even when overwhelmed. And many women silently carry exhaustion that nobody notices. They become the emotional support system for others while secretly feeling unsupported themselves. So both men and women end up hurting. Both end up lonely. Both end up misunderstood. But because everyone is hiding pain differently, people stop recognizing suffering in each other. And when suffering becomes invisible, disconnection grows. The most dangerous kind of loneliness, the most dangerous loneliness, is not isolation. It's hopelessness. It's when someone starts believing nobody would care anyway. That's just how life is. No one understands me. I'll always feel this way. That's when loneliness becomes dangerous. Because hopelessness slowly drains meaning from life. It drains motivation, energy, identity, joy, connection. And the terrifying part is, people can reach that emotional state slowly, quietly, without anybody noticing. That's why listening matters so much. That's why presence matters. Not perfect advice. Not motivational speeches. Presence. Because many people don't need someone to solve their entire life. They just need proof that someone genuinely cares. That someone notices them. That someone is willing to sit with them in the darkness instead of avoiding it. And sometimes, That kind of connection can save a life. Literally, one conversation, one moment of honesty, one person saying, "You don't have to carry this alone," can interrupt weeks, months, or years of emotional isolation. Never underestimate what human presence can do. Why people stop opening up? A lot of people used to be more open. Then, life hurt them. Maybe someone betrayed them, ignored them, humiliated them, mocked their vulnerability, used their honesty against them. So they adapted. They became quieter, more careful, more emotionally guarded. And over time, they built walls so high that even good people struggle to reach them. That's what pain often does. It convinces people that emotional distance equals safety. And for a while, it works. If nobody gets close, nobody can hurt you deeply. But there's a cost. Walls don't only block pain. They block love too, connection too, healing too. And eventually, people become emotionally trapped inside the protection they built, wanting closeness, but fearing it at the same time. That's why trust is becoming harder today. People have been disappointed too many times, used too many times, abandoned too many times. So they stop risking honesty. But without honesty, a real connection becomes impossible. Because people cannot deeply connect with masks, only with truth. And truth requires courage. Learning how to care again, maybe the answer is not becoming harder. Maybe the answer is becoming more human again. Not weaker. Human. There's a difference. Being human means allowing people to matter. It means checking on people, listening fully, apologizing sincerely, saying "I love you" before it's too late. Give people your attention instead of half listening while staring at a screen. It means remembering that everybody is fighting battles you cannot see. Everybody. The cashier, the coworker, the friend who suddenly became distant. The parent is trying to stay strong. The teenager is pretending to be okay. The older person who feels forgotten. Everybody carries something. And when you remember that, it changes how you treat people. You become softer without becoming weak. More patient. More understanding. More aware. And maybe that's what this world desperately needs right now. Not more performance. Not more outrage. No more division. More humanity. Because loneliness doesn't disappear through technology. It disappears through presence, through honesty, through compassion, through people making each other feel less alone. That is how human beings survive difficult times. Together, maybe someone listening tonight feels emotionally exhausted. Maybe someone listening has smiled through pain for years. Maybe someone listening feels surrounded, but deeply alone. If that's you, this matters. Your pain is real. Your loneliness is real. But it does not mean you are broken. And it does not mean you are invisible. Human beings were never meant to carry life completely alone. Wanting connection is not a weakness. Wanting understanding is not a weakness. Wanting someone to care is not a weakness. That is part of being human. And maybe healing begins with honesty. Not pretending anymore. Not hiding everything anymore. Not carrying every burden in silence anymore. Maybe healing begins the moment someone finally says, "This is what I've really been feeling." Because behind millions of smiles, there are millions of people quietly hoping someone sees them. And maybe the first step toward changing the world is making sure the people around us don't feel invisible anymore. This is the human backbone. Next episode, we're talking about something silently changing society itself. Why outrage became entertainment, and empathy started disappearing.